If you are watching this right now, maybe it's not a coincidence. Maybe life wanted you to hear this before it's too late. I am 78 years old. I have lived long enough to see empty pockets and full bank accounts, busy days and silent nights, crowded rooms and lonely moments. And after all these years, I can tell you one honest truth. Most of the things we chase in life don't give us the peace we expect. When I was young, I believed time was unlimited. I kept saying, "Tomorrow, I'll do it later. There's still plenty of time." I thought life would wait for me. But time never waits. Years pass quietly. Days leave without making noise. And one day, you wake up and realize that the moments you thought you owned were only borrowed. I spent many of my best years running after success, running after approval, running after things I thought would complete me. I told myself I was building a future. What I didn't realize was that I was spending my life. Now my hands shake a little. Getting up takes effort, and the world moves faster than I do. That's when the truth becomes clear. The real wealth was never money. It was time. Time to sit with the people you love. Time to fix mistakes. Time to remember why you were created in the first place. We are all given the same 24 hours. No one gets more. No one gets less. But some people use it wisely, and some only understand its value when there isn't much left. I'm not here to lecture you. I'm here because I wish someone had looked me in the eyes and told me this when I was your age. If you listen carefully, you might save yourself from learning these lessons the hard way. Time is the only thing in life that cannot be saved, borrowed, or replaced. You can earn money again, rebuild careers, and even repair broken relationships, but once a moment passes, it is gone forever. When you are young, time feels endless. Days move slowly and years seem far away. You believe you will always have another chance, another season, another tomorrow. That belief is comforting, but it is also misleading. As the years go by, you begin to notice how quietly time moves. It doesn't announce its departure. It doesn't warn you before it takes something with it. One day you are busy planning your future, and the next day you are wondering where the years went. The truth is, time was leaving all along, one ordinary day at a time. People often treat time as if it has little value. They waste it on things that don't matter, arguments that lead nowhere, distractions that bring no fulfillment. They delay important conversations, meaningful actions, and necessary changes, assuming they will get to them later. But later is never guaranteed. Time does not adjust itself to our plans. It keeps moving, whether we are ready or not. What makes time so precious is not just that it is limited, but that it carries everything meaningful within it. Love exists in time. Growth happens in time. Healing, learning, and forgiveness all require time. When time is gone, the opportunity for these things often disappears with it. This is why people rarely regret working too little, but often regret not spending enough time with those who mattered most. As you grow older, your relationship with time changes. You begin to measure it differently. Instead of counting years ahead, you start noticing moments behind you. You realize that some of the most valuable times in your life were simple and ordinary, yet you were too busy to notice them when they were happening. A quiet meal, a shared laugh, a sincere conversation. These moments seem small in the moment, but become priceless in memory. Time also has a way of revealing truth. It shows you what truly mattered and what never did. Many things that once felt urgent lose their importance, while the things you ignored become the ones you miss the most. This clarity often comes late, but it comes to almost everyone. Understanding the value of time does not mean living in fear of its passing. It means living with awareness. It means choosing intentionally how you spend your days, because your days eventually become your life. Every hour you give to something is a silent decision about what you value. If there is one thing worth protecting, it is your time. Spend it on what aligns with your purpose, your values, and your conscience. Because in the end, time is not just the most valuable thing you have. It is the thing that shapes who you become. Most regrets are not born from failure, but from delay. They come from the things we meant to do, the words we planned to say, and the priorities we kept pushing aside because something else always felt more urgent. Life has a quiet way of convincing us that what truly matters can wait. We tell ourselves we will focus on it later, when life slows down, when responsibilities are lighter, when the timing feels right. But that moment rarely arrives. When you are young, priorities are often shaped by pressure. You focus on achievement, stability, and expectations. There is nothing wrong with ambition, but problems begin when important things are consistently postponed in its name. Family dinners are skipped, health is ignored, relationships are put on pause, personal values are compromised just for now. Each delay feels small and reasonable, but over time, these small decisions add up. What makes postponed priorities so dangerous is that they don't feel like mistakes while you are making them. They feel practical, responsible even. You believe you are sacrificing today for a better tomorrow. But years later, when tomorrow finally arrives, you realize that what you postponed was not replaceable. Moments passed, people changed, opportunities closed quietly without asking for permission. Many people reach a stage in life where they finally have the time they once wanted. The rush slows down, the noise fades. That is when reflection begins. And in that silence, regrets speak clearly. Not about money, titles, or status, but about missed connections and neglected values. About parents not listened to enough, children not spent enough time with, and inner callings ignored for too long. Postponed priorities also affect how we see ourselves. Each time you delay what you know is important, you weaken trust in your own conscience. You start to believe that your values are flexible, optional, something you can return to later. Over time, this creates inner conflict, a quiet dissatisfaction that success alone cannot fix. The hardest part is realizing that many priorities have an expiration date. Health cannot always be recovered. Relationships cannot always be repaired. Time with certain people cannot be reclaimed. You don't notice the deadline until it has already passed, and once it does, regret has a way of settling in deeply because it carries the weight of awareness. Living with fewer regrets does not require a perfect life. It requires honest choices. It means asking yourself not what is urgent, but what is important. It means giving time and attention to the things that will still matter years from now. Priorities reveal themselves through action, not intention. In the end, regret is often the price we pay for postponing what our hearts already knew was essential. Choosing differently today is not about fixing the past. It is about respecting the future version of yourself who will one day look back and remember the choices you made. Success is often presented as the ultimate goal, something that promises security, respect, and happiness. From a young age, many people are taught that if they work hard enough and achieve enough, everything else will fall into place. This belief pushes people forward, fuels ambition, and encourages discipline. But what is rarely discussed is the hidden cost that can come with chasing success without balance. In the pursuit of achievement, it is easy to sacrifice moments that seem small at the time. Late nights become normal. Weekends turn into workdays. Conversations are shortened and presence is replaced with distraction. At first, these sacrifices feel temporary and justified. You tell yourself it is only for now. that once you reach a certain level, life will slow down and make room for everything else. But success has a way of expanding. Each goal leads to another. Each milestone raises the standard higher. Without realizing it, the finish line keeps moving, and the life you plan to enjoy keeps getting postponed. In the process, meaningful moments quietly pass by. Birthdays become dates on a calendar. Meals together become rare. Laughter is replaced by exhaustion. What many people discover later is that success does not remember the moments you missed. It does not sit with you in silence. It does not comfort you when life becomes heavy. The things that truly sustain a person during difficult times are often the very things sacrificed along the way. Relationships, health, faith, and inner peace. There is also a subtle loneliness that can come with constant striving. When your identity becomes tied to achievement, rest feels undeserved and stillness feels uncomfortable. You may be surrounded by people yet feel disconnected. You may be admired yet feel unseen. This is because success can measure what you do, but it cannot measure who you are becoming. As time passes, perspective changes. You begin to understand that the moments you remember most clearly are not the achievements, but the shared experiences, a quiet conversation, a supportive presence, a simple act of kindness. These moments shape the soul in ways success alone cannot. Chasing success is not wrong. Purpose, effort, and growth are valuable. But when success becomes the only measure of a meaningful life, something essential is lost. Balance is not about doing less, but about remembering what deserves your attention. In the end, a life well lived is not defined by how much you achieved, but by how deeply you lived. Success can open doors, but it is the moments you keep that give life its true richness. Many people spend their lives believing that happiness is something they will acquire. They associate peace with having more money, more comfort, more recognition, more control. It feels logical to think that once enough is collected, peace will naturally follow. But over time, this idea quietly proves to be incomplete. Possessions can make life easier, but they do not make it meaningful. They can provide comfort, but they cannot calm an unsettled heart. The satisfaction that comes from owning something new is often brief. What once felt exciting slowly becomes ordinary, and the desire moves on to the next thing. This cycle creates motion, but not fulfillment. Purpose works differently. Purpose gives direction rather than distraction. It provides a reason to wake up with intention and to endure difficulty with patience. When a person understands why they are doing what they do, even simple days feel grounded. Even challenges carry meaning. Without purpose, comfort can feel empty, and abundance can feel strangely hollow. Peace grows when actions align with values. When a person knows what they stand for and lives accordingly, there is a quiet stability within them. This kind of peace does not depend on circumstances. It does not disappear when things go wrong, nor does it inflate when things go right. It remains steady because it comes from inside, not from what is owned. Many people only realize this after years of chasing external markers of success. They reach goals they once dreamed of, only to feel a lingering restlessness. Not because they failed, but because something essential was overlooked. Purpose was delayed. Meaning was postponed. The focus remained on accumulation rather than alignment. Purpose does not have to be grand. It is often found in service, responsibility, and contribution. In caring for others, being honest in your work, staying true to your conscience, and using your abilities for something beyond yourself. These acts may not bring applause, but they bring depth. And depth is where peace lives. Possessions can be lost. Status can change. Comfort can disappear. But purpose, once rooted, continues to guide a person through uncertainty. It shapes decisions, steadies emotions, and offers clarity when the path feels unclear. In the end, peace is not something you purchase or achieve. It is something you cultivate. It grows from knowing who you are, why you are here, and choosing to live in a way that reflects that understanding. Purpose does not remove hardship, but it makes life feel whole. And that is where true peace begins. Some lessons in life arrive quietly, while others come with time, loss, and reflection. The most difficult ones often take years to fully understand. They are not complicated ideas, but truths that require experience to feel real. When these lessons finally become clear, they carry a certain weight, not because they are new, but because they came late. When you are young, advice often sounds distant. You hear warnings, guidance, and reminders, but they don't always sink in. Life feels open, flexible, and forgiving. Mistakes seem temporary. You believe there will always be time to correct course. It is only through living, choosing, and sometimes failing that certain truths become undeniable. Lessons learned late often come from moments of pause. When life slows down, reflection begins. You start to connect outcomes with earlier decisions. You see how small choices shaped large parts of your life. What once felt insignificant now appears important, and what once felt urgent now feels unnecessary. This clarity is powerful, but it also carries a sense of loss. There is a quiet sadness in realizing that some lessons could have changed everything if they were understood earlier. Not because life turned out badly, but because it could have been lived with more awareness, with fewer regrets, with deeper presence. These realizations are not meant to create bitterness, but wisdom. The value of late lessons lies in what they can still offer. Even when time is limited, understanding grows, and understanding creates responsibility. A responsibility to share what has been learned, not with pride, but with humility. Not as commands, but as guidance, because wisdom has little purpose if it stays silent. Passing lessons forward is an act of care. It is a way of protecting others from unnecessary pain, a way of helping them see what is easy to miss when life is moving fast. You cannot live someone else's life for them, but you can offer clarity where confusion once existed. Every generation benefits from the honesty of the one before it. Not through perfection, but through truth, through admitting mistakes, through acknowledging what truly mattered and what didn't. These shared lessons become shortcuts, not to success, but to understanding. In the end, lessons learned late are not wasted. They become meaningful when they save someone else time, regret, or loss. What took a lifetime to understand can become a moment of awareness for someone else. And sometimes that is the most valuable legacy a person can leave behind.